Hello everyone and welcome back to Railfan on Location. Winter in Connecticut is always cold, but this winter has been far harsher than in most recent years. Between mid-January and mid-February, Eastern Connecticut was hit by several snowstorms, giving me the fairly rare chance to film trains in heavy snowfall. I made many trips trackside to film trains during this period, but instead of releasing them as individual videos, I'm going to combine them all together in this video to give you guys a better look at the action on the railroad over the last month. Our first train was filmed on a Monday in early January, just after a storm had dropped several inches of snow across the region. I braved the snow-covered roads to get to the track and catch train 608 as it headed back to its home base of Palmer, Massachusetts from Willimantic, Connecticut. I just barely made it to the crossing before the train, leaving us with just a little time to set up for a shot before 608 flew by north. I was joined by another person on this trip who not only took the additional shot of the train, but also provided me with helpful commentary.
Other things to note is bump. Do not step on tracks. If you do, you will die a horrible death by turning into a train pancake.
This has been a public safety announcement from the ferroequinologist.
Later that week, I headed out to the tracks again to film 608 racing north as the sun set. This time I caught the train further up the line in Willington, Connecticut, next to an old railroad depot that is now a bike shop. There's a siding here that the railroad sometimes stores extra cars on, but today the train was running late and wouldn't be stopping here. Soon the flashers at the grade crossing began to chime and 608 appeared from behind the trees. Today's train was running long hood forward, meaning that both engines were running backward in a sense, with the long hood of the locomotive pointing in the direction of travel instead of the shorter cab. I don't know why they were doing this today, but it's possible that they were not able to get an engine facing north in Palmer the day before. I thought this would be all the snow we'd see for a while, but just a week later a storm dropped half a foot of snow in the region. I knew that 608 would be running south from Palmer in the fresh snow that morning, and once I heard them leave Palmer on the radio, I headed to Depot Road in Mansfield in hopes of filming the train smash through the berm of snow thrown onto the tracks by the snowplows. Once there, I didn't have to wait long to hear 608's horn as it approached the crossing. The train clearly dug out a section of the snowbank left by the plow, and I could see bits of snow scattered all down the track. This is why you don't want to stand too close to the trains. Of special interest on this train was the trailing engine, NECR 3015, newly repainted in a special paint scheme honoring veterans and service members by the railroad. I had heard that the engine had been on train 608 earlier in the week, and it was awesome to be able to see it in person. However, I now wanted to catch it leading the train so I could get a good shot of the engine. My chance came later that week when I heard 608 heading north in the afternoon. I knew that this meant 3015 would be leading the train, so despite the sleet and rain I made my way to Merrow, Connecticut to film the train. Sure enough, 3015 was leading, though the experience was hampered by the wet and dreary weather. Still, it was awesome to get a shot of the Special Interest Unit leading. The next week brought even more snow, dropping another half-foot on the region. Once again, I headed down to the tracks once I heard the train leave Palmer heading south. I tried to catch the train at Depot Road again, but the flashers started going before I had a chance to take out my camera. I quickly did a U-turn and chased the train farther south to another road named Depot Road. Seriously, people in this part of the world need to get more creative with their road names. There are 3 different roads called Depot Road that cross the train tracks within about 10 miles of each other. I had to beat the train here by a little bit, so I had a little time to set up my shot before 608 came flying southbound. I was pleasantly surprised by the leader on this train, Providence and Worcester 4051, a C40-8. The engine is not only off its home rails, but is also a GE locomotive, an unusual sight on this line where most trains are powered by EMD locomotives. I've been filming this engine for months, but it's always been trailing in the consist, where it's hard to get a good look at it. This was the first time I had caught it leading, and so I was very pleased to have finally gotten a good shot of it at last. That's all for this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video and think I've earned it, please consider leaving me a like to let me know that you enjoyed this video so I know to keep making more content like this, and maybe even subscribe to help the channel grow and make sure you don't miss out on the next one of these videos. Also, be sure to let me know if you'd like to see more railfanning adventures in this video format, or if you would rather I stick to my more traditional live format for this series. As always, thanks for watching everyone, and have a great day.